Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Lead me from the unreal to the real. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Today, we will look what's the relevance of Bhagavad Gita in the 21st century. Next to Bible, Bhagavad Gita is the most widely translated scriptural text. It has been translated into many languages, both Indian and foreign. The first translation of Bhagavad Gita into English was by Sir Charles Wilkins and published by the British East India Company in 1785. In his introduction to that first translation, Lord Warren Hastings, the first British Governor General of India, remarked, "Works as the Gita would live long after the British domain in India has ceased to exist." Very prophetic utterance. Almost a century later came another rendering in English by Sir Edwin Arnold called The Song Celestial. Then translations in French, German, and other languages followed, along with all the translation into all the Indian languages. It is noted that in 1982, that's the one I saw on the internet, there were 1,891 translations of Gita. Now, this already 2025, there'll be how many more has come, because every year new versions are coming up. So what is the secret of this continued appeal? Before we go into that, let's look what's the background of the Bhagavad Gita. Where was it given? Why? When was it given? Why was it given? Most of you know it's a part of Mahabharata, which took cousins. They are fighting for the throne. And Arjuna is the main warrior on their side, Pandava side. And they have been preparing for this battle. The last moment, right? They have both side armies arrayed, ready for battle. And just before the first arrow is being shot, Arjuna refuses to fight. He says that it's not right to kill all these people because they are all kinsmen, and then there'll be social chaos. And then Shri Krishna gives the teaching and urges him to do his duty. And his duty is to fight the righteous war, so he has to fight. Now, this is something has happened more than 7,000 years ago. What has that got to do with us now in the 21st century? We are living in the nuclear age. What has got this something which happened 7,000 years to do with us now? It is relevant because Gita deals with the practical problems of life faced by people through all ages. Practical problems, how to discharge one's duty as a member of an imperfect society, how to manage the restless mind, at the same time realize the highest goal of human life, and that is realizing one's divine nature. So we can say it's a handbook for leading a happy and meaningful life. So it's no wonder that the message of Gita seems to be more relevant now than at that time, relevant at the present age. And this present age characterized by consumerism, greater exploitation of the environment, climate change, artificial intelligence, growing violence, and challenges, uncertainties of war. Everything is there. So it seems to be more relevant now. The Prasthanatraya, that is the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutras, and the Bhagavad Gita, form the bedrock of Vedanta philosophy. The Upanishads and Brahma Sutras are rather difficult for ordinary people. Without proper translation, commentary, it's very hard. Even with all that, it's very hard unless people explain again and again. Comparatively, I won't say it's easy, but comparatively, Bhagavad Gita is easy for us to understand. It's often considered as the essence of the Upanishads. Before, there is a few verses called Meditation on Gita. In one of the verses says, if the Upanishads are compared to the cow, then Gita is the milk. In the cow, the most important thing for us is the milk, which nourishes us if you partake of it. So if you study the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, you will be benefited. You will be nourished spiritually. So all people from all walks of life, whether we are on the secular field or on the beginner on the spiritual path, somebody who has far advanced on spiritual, everyone gets encouragement, some inspiration from the teachings of Gita. Mahatma, we can see that Gita has influenced people all over the world. Great thinkers, writers, philosophers, scientists. Just to mention a few names like Atlas Huxley, Mahatma Gandhi, the German philosopher Hermann Kaiserling, Khalil Gibran, the Lebanese-American writer, poet, German novelist Hermann Hesse. They all have been influenced by Bhagavad Gita. Mahatma Gandhi says, when disappointment stares me on the face and all alone, I see not one ray of light, I go back to the Gita. I find a verse here and a verse there, and I immediately begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming tragedies. He finds solution to his problem in the Gita. According to Aldous Huxley, Gita is one of the clearest and most comprehensive summaries of the perennial philosophy ever to have been done. Gita is one of the clearest and most comprehensive summaries of the perennial philosophy ever to have been done. Hence, its enduring value, not only for Indians, but for all mankind. The colophon in each chapter of the Gita says it's Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Brahma Vidya means science of ultimate reality. Yoga Shastra is the science of action, how to perform action efficiently. Now, Arjuna wanted only to know whether he should fight or not. But instead of giving a direct answer, Sri Krishna gave him the highest wisdom. An immediate answer to a problem would have solved immediate problem, that particular problem. But the supreme wisdom that Sri Krishna gave helps everyone to get rid of the ignorance and attain enlightenment. Krishna diagnoses Arjuna's problems at the very outset. And what is that? Ignorance of your true nature, and mistaking the psychophysical system as the real entity. That was a problem Arjuna had. So Krishna imparts the knowledge of the reality, that knowledge which destroys the ignorance. And this ignorance is the cause of birth and death, and also fear, misery, delusion regarding birth and death. All that causes ignorance. And this knowledge will remove that. And only such knowledge will help us to face the problems and challenges of life. And that knowledge alone can give us lasting solution to life problem. The rest are all merely patchwork, just surface remedy, like taking painkiller instead of going to the root, going to the root problem of the disease. And this knowledge gives us self-confidence, faith in ourselves. And according to Swami Vivekananda, we must have faith in ourselves first before having faith in God. So Swamiji says, the ideal of faith in ourselves is the greatest help to us. Throughout the history of mankind, if any motive power has been more potent than another in the lives of all great men and women, it is that of faith in themselves. We must have faith in ourselves. And this knowledge of our real nature, that we are essentially divine, that gives us faith in ourselves. Yoga Shastra, that is, as I said earlier, it's called Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Brahma Vidya is because it gives us the wisdom to know the real nature. And Yoga Shastra, along with this highest wisdom, leading us to enlightenment, Gita also shows the way to lead the life. It's very practical. It's not just, and because it is very practical, it's called Yoga Shastra. So it's a handbook, a manual for living the life, daily living. And what is the setting of Gita? Not like the Upanishad in the hermitage of a sage or in the forest. It's right in the battlefield, the thick of battle. And if you look at both Arjuna and Sri Krishna, both were in the midst of worldly problems and intrigues and fighting. So much of problems are going on between the families and the nations. They are in the thick of that. And it is there that the teachings of Gita is given, in the midst of all these worldly problems, not in the forest hermitage. So anybody following and practicing the teachings of Gita becomes a better person. Because we all have got our own battles to fight, not just Arjuna. We have got our individual war to wage. And these teachings tells us how to wage our individual battles. So a person who is following the teachings of Gita becomes a better person. A student will become a better student. A teacher will become a better teacher. An administrator will become a better administrator. A craftsman become a better craftsman. Whatever be your field of action, you become a better person. So we can say that Gita is both metaphysics and ethics. Gita is no longer being considered as a scripture. In the modern time, we see that it's being used by business people, psychiatrists, psychotherapists, psychologists, they all make use of Bhagavad Gita now. Gita is used for building models of leadership and business practices, corporate social responsibilities, and related areas. Some psychotherapists consider Sri Krishna as the best, one of the very efficient psychotherapists. According to them, Krishna does not attempt to change the situation of the war. He allowed the situation to continue as it is. But what does he do? He helps Arjuna to change his perception for the reasons of war. That's all. And according to this psychotherapist, that is cognitive behavioral therapy. So Krishna was doing that. And psychologists consider, they find another interesting point. It's often it is considered a stigma to accept or say that I got some problem, mental problem or psychological problem, need help. Seeking help is considered a stigma, especially for men. And here is Arjuna, the greatest warrior, the greatest of, we can say, example of masculinity. And he is saying, I'm completely confused. Please help me. So he is accepting, instead of hiding or suppressing his problems, doubts, he is giving expression to that, accepting it and seeking help. So they think that's a very positive example. If Arjuna, a great hero, can do that, so what's the harm in ordinary person like me accepting and trying to seek help? So it's a very good thing. It's a very great help for in the mental health area. And again, Gita is referred to as one of the greatest book on practical Vedanta. Its message is universal, applicable to anyone, anywhere in the world. Because the message of Gita is message of strength. Everybody has to engage in work. Nobody can be without work. We are all working, doing some action or other. Even when you are sitting here quietly, you are doing some work. You are listening. Your mind is working. Because whatever I'm saying, you are hearing, but at the same time, your mind is working. Oh, have I heard this before? This is not the right thing to say. So many things are going on. Now full attention is not here. Things of mind is working. And then all the internal organs in the body is working. So that's why Krishna says in the Gita, nobody can be without work even for a moment. The only time we are not working is when we are dead. Otherwise, from the moment we are born till we die, we are constantly working. Even sleeping, we are working. Work is going on in the body. So we should know how to work. Since we cannot avoid work, we should know how to work. In the field of work, we need hard work, efficient work, and cooperative work. We can achieve something great only when there is calm, steady work. That's a challenge that people face nowadays. How to work maintaining equanimity of mind. We may plan, oh, I won't get disturbed. I'll work with a very calm mind. Whatever happens, no, I'm not going to be disturbed. We plan all these things, but when the actual situation comes, we get upset. All those, our decisions are all forgotten because that particular situation becomes the most real thing for us. We forget that this is just a passing phase. It was not there before. It won't be there after some time. Just for a short time, it is that particular situation is there. There is no need to get so much worked up on that. We forget that. Because that becomes a very real thing and we lose our calmness, our serenity. We can work in two different ways. Any action, performing action. We can perform action with looking for the outcome, desiring for the outcome. And then what happens? We may worry if we are not, the outcome is not according to our liking. And then because we are attached to the outcome, the results. And that attachment leads to more action and then more outcome, attachment to the outcome, it goes on increasing the bondage. Or we can work without desire, without any attachment, without any fear. These Christians call it the holy indifference. Now the choice is ours. We can either, there are two choices. We can work with attachment or without any attachment. Shri Krishna asks us to perform from actions from the yoga state of consciousness. Yogastha Kurikarmani. Be established in yoga and then perform action. So what is this yoga state of consciousness? The conscious level from which positive actions come. Good for the society happens. That's called yoga level. That conscious level where whatever we do is good and what we are doing is beneficial for the society. That is yoga level. We do our actions from various states of consciousness. It is not the action that makes the difference. It is our attitude. From which level of consciousness we perform. Am I doing something just for myself, selfish, or for the good of the society? That attitude makes a big difference. The same thing, depending upon the attitude, we classify differently. Somebody walks on the street and kills another person, we call the person a murderer. A soldier in the battlefield, protecting, defending the country, kills 10 people, we call him a great hero. The difference is, the action was the same, murder, killing, taking the life of another person. But our reaction, our attitude is different because one was for a personal reason, the other one was for the good of the society. And again, the same work can be a pleasure, a joy, or a pain on the neck, a drudgery, depending upon our attitude. And we all want to work which gives us pleasure, perform action which gives us pleasure, not something which causing stress and strain. But in the present situation, work is full of stress and strain. That's why the moment you get a long weekend, what happens? Friday itself, we pack the car off. And then Sunday, Monday evening, oh, tomorrow I have to go back to work. Because work is a drudgery, stress of strain. And holiday also, there is a lot of exertion is there, but it is relaxation. Why? Because you chose that. You chose the stress, you chose the exertion, whereas the other one, you're forced on it. Just the mental attitude, different, that's all. So in the present situation, work is causing a lot of tension and worries, leading to nervous breakdown. And when the mind is disturbed, we can't even make a clear choice or clear decisions. So in such situation, human beings takes to either flight or fight. Flight mode is you run away from the problem. But that's not solving the problem. You're running away from the problem. The problem will be meeting you there because the problem is in your mind. What is problem? The reaction of our mind to the external situation. And we are taking the same mind wherever you are going. The flight is not going to solve the problem. Only postponing it, that's all. So Shri Krishna advises us to take to the fight mode. Arjuna wanted to run away. If you look in the first chapter of the Gita, Arjuna gives a long list of arguments why he should not fight. He says in the end, all those arguments, he finishes by saying, I would rather be live the life of mendicant, beg alms, and live on alms, rather than enjoy these blood-stained enjoyments, he says, pleasures. So he wanted to run away. He wanted to take to the flight course. But Sri Krishna says, no, you have to fight. You have to face the problem. Swami Vivekananda says, face the brute. You cannot, we have to face the problems. When we face the problem, if we can face the problem in the early stage, we can overcome the problem. You move backward, the problem will come forward to you, and it will grow in size. And it's harder. It's like pulling up a small sapling. It's easy to pull up when it is small. But if we leave it and grows into a big tree, then it's a big problem to get rid of it. So Krishna asks us to face the problem by bringing up the energies from within. We have got infinite energy within. We are not using all that energy. We are using only a very tiny bit of our potentials, our energy. We have got great store. All these great people, the difference between them and us, who are the great workers, is how much energy they have used and how much energy we are using. That's the only difference. And they have concentrated the energy, used up the energy, brought up more and more energy from within. And they were able to perform great actions. The great leaders like Buddha, Shankaracharya, Swami Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, all these great leaders, where did they get all the energy? Is it, as some people ask Sri Ramakrishna, is God partial, giving more power to one person and less to other? Now, we all got that potential. They used it, concentrated energy, concentrated the mind, and they were able to use the energy. We are not using that. So the energy is there within us. But concentrating the energy is a great challenge. It is not for easy-go-lucky people. No, if you want to lead a very easy life, no, it's not that. Concentrating energy, you have to face a lot of problems. You should have strength. But the strength is within us. You have to bring it up. That's all. And they brought out the energy submerged within, and they were able to manifest that and face the problems. What do we do? We waste a lot of energy in emotion. We get happy, we get upset, we get angry, jealousy, all these things, emotions, they're just waste of energy. They don't bring any results, just wasting energy. Instead of wasting the energy on emotional outbursts, if we can concentrate and use it in the right way, then we also will be able to achieve great things like them. So Swami Vivekananda says, the calmer we are and the less disturbed our nerves, the more shall we love and better will be our work. The calmer we are. We have to be calm and serene. Now, how to be calm and less disturbed? That's a problem with us. We are always getting disturbed. I decided in the morning, I will be very calm and serene. I won't be disturbed by whatever my sisters say. And then they say something and all the decisions disappear. How to work in the actual field of action without getting disturbed? How to remain calm? Sri Krishna gives several examples how to remain calm in the Gita. I will just consider one or two. He says, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chedasa nirashi nirmama bhutva yudhyasya vikata. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. Giving up all actions, offering all actions to me. Now, how do we offer all the actions to God? Do it in the spirit of duty. This is a sacred duty. I am privileged to do this work. But that attitude, if we have, then it's not a challenging thing. It's not a chore. We are happy because I got this privilege to do this work because it's God's work. And I'm offering all these results to God. We are not attached to the results. Whether the results come out good, I'm successful in this endeavor, or I fail. Doesn't matter. It's God's work. I have been given this duty. I perform to the best of my ability. I'm not looking at the results because the results belongs to God. It's God's work. That is what's earlier we mentioned as holy indifference. And Sri Krishna uses that word, udasinavat, as though indifferent. Not that you don't care for it. No. You care for the work. You put in maximum effort in every way. You try to do it in the best of your ability. There should be no fault on my side, no lacking on my side. I put in all the effort. But then I don't worry about the results. Whatever the result is to come, it will come. That is why he says udasinavat. Udasinavat means as though indifferent. It's not lack of enthusiasm, but indifferent to the results, whatever be the results, because the results belong to God. So I don't have to worry about that. Whether it is successful or it's a failure, it's God's work. I have done my duty. I have performed. I put in all the effort. I have done the best way I can. Now it's up to God. Ajay Pranamadi used to say, when she was in Trivandrum, she had a big operation, and the surgeon said, now I have done everything, whatever I can. Now it's up to God. We can do only to a certain extent. You do your best and then leave to God. It's in God's hand. Perform wholeheartedly the action that you have to be done with utmost care, but not worried about the results. The results are God's. That's why he says, my sarvani karmani sannyasa, giving up all actions to me. When we are not attached to results, then our mind won't be disturbed. Whether either good or bad results, mind won't be disturbed. And then we can perform action in an efficient way. Otherwise, when we are attached, we get worrying about the results. There's always chance that we make mistakes. Then, what's the next one? Adhyatma chetasa, with mind centered on the self. It's very easy to say, don't get attached to the results. But in actual field, not getting attached to results is very difficult, very hard. You don't care for the result, then why should I work hard? If the results are all going to God, why should I work hard at all? Why should I care for to perform the action in the best way? That's what Sri Krishna said earlier in the second chapter. You have the right to perform action, not to the results, but perform it in the best way. Now, our mind wants to hold on to something. Usually we hold on attached to the results. But now he says, don't get attached to results. So what are we to keep the mind on then? So it's adhyatma chetasa, centered on the self. It's the nature of mind to get attached to something, centered on something. When it is asked not to get centered on the results, then where to center the mind on? On the self, on the higher self. It's a little self, the ego, that claims all the results. I did it, so the results should come to me. No, keep it on the higher self. Then nirashi, free from cravings for the fulfillment of all these selfish desires. Nirmama, without selfishness. You asked me to work the best way possible. I did. So the result should be mine. Isn't it? I performed, I worked hard. So the result should be mine. Sri Krishna says, no, not give up selfishness. Because I didn't, when I did, of course, I did the last part. But the early things other people had done, I worked on the effort of other people. Now I'm standing here and talking. The microphone, the electricity, all the things, the platform, the table, all work done by other people. I didn't create all these things. I am making use of the work of other people. So the result should go to everybody. I cannot claim that result should be mine. In every case, it is like that. We are performing or our particular action as the end results of on working on other people's action also. So the result should go to everybody. We cannot claim selfish attachment to that. We cannot say the result should be mine alone. No, you cannot do that. So that will change our attitude from I, me to we and us. The result should be ours. We should share the results. And that will reduce the craving. Then he says finally, Nirashi nirmama bhutva yudhyasva, fight. Then Vigata Jara, free from mental fever. Arjuna showed the symptoms of fever. He said, my body is burning, mouth is parched, I can't even hold my bow. My mind is completely confused. So he is showing all the time symptoms. So without any mental fever, without any stress, strain. Now, there are many things which stress us. But there are some things which we cannot avoid. So things which we cannot avoid, what are we to do? We bear with them. They come and go. They are not there all the time. Just like now we are going into winter, it will be cold. Oh, we are shivering, so cold, so cold. By complaining and worrying over it, is it going to solve the problem? Well, you put on warm clothes, sit near the fire, have the heat. Now we have got all these conveniences are there, heat the room. But also remember, it's not there, it was not there before. After a few months, it won't be there. So for the time being, bear with it. That's one of the teachings of Vedanta. What we forbear, titiksha. Then in another verse, Sri Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya. How to perform action at all time. Sarveshu kaleshu, at all times. Mam anusmara. Remember me and fight. Remember God and do your action. How can you remember? He says at all times. Sarveshu kaleshu, all times remember me and fight. In the midst of, I have to concentrate on the work at hand, on hand. How can I remember God? Well, we have got the capacity to perform action at the same time. Something will be bothering at the back of the mind. It will be there. The most common example is toothache. Didn't get time to go to the dentist. Toothache is there. I had to go to the office, work. Of course, do everything. But that idea is there at the back of the mind. I got toothache is there. So they say keep the mind like that, a part of the mind on God. Sri Ramakrishna says, hold on to God with one hand and do all your duties with the other. There are many work in our daily life, which where we don't need how to pay so much attention. Brushing the teeth, taking bath, even eating. You don't feel full attention. Can't be at the part of the mind can be kept on God. Yes, we can if you practice. Through practice, all this is possible. It's not impossible. It's not something unimaginable. No, you can practice. Through practice, we can have this idea. Keep the mind, part of the mind on God, and do all your action. Constantly remember me, because action is external and remembrance is mental. You do action with your hands, with your body, but the mind, we can keep a part of the mind on God. And then if you have that, touch the storehouse of energy, power, strength, then you won't be easily swayed away by the problems. That's why Krishna says this, remember me and fight. Then another one is, he says, Nimitta matram bhava, be an instrument in my hand. The earlier part of that verse, Shri Krishna says, you enjoy, defeat your enemies and enjoy the world. Enjoy the prosperous kingdom. Often have this idea that, oh, these scriptures are otherworldly. No, we want to enjoy the world. That's what Krishna says. Yasholabhaswa, gain fame. Jitva Shatrun Bhukshma Rajyam Samardham. Defeating this enemy, enjoy this prosperous kingdom. Then remember, you are only an instrument in my hand. Nimitta matram bhava. Be an instrument in my hand. That's one of the way to perform action. Whatever you're doing, have the idea that God is the doer. I'm just a tool in the hand. Then we won't have problems. These are things which we have to practice. It doesn't come in a day or two, immediately. No. Constant practice, long practice brings us to that idea. So to conclude, we can say that Gita expounds the philosophy of human development. Performing action, we go forward. And it gives answers to questions that we often find. Often we have got this doubt. Why is that good people do evil deeds? People get the answer, doubt. Good people, so apparently good person, suddenly perform bad action, evil deeds. Arjuna raises this question. Why do people do evil deeds as though compelled by some force? Shri Krishna says, yes, there are two powerful forces. Desire, excessive desire, and anger. Excessive desire and anger. If you look at all the problems in the world, you can bring them down to these two emotions, excessive desire and anger. Excessive desire for anything. Can be desire for wealth, can be desire for pleasures, can be desire for power. All the problems in the whole world, individual problems, national problem, international problem, can be boiled down to these two emotions, desire and anger. When the desire is thwarted, when it obstructed, turns to anger. And Gita tells us how to manage this. That is why psychologists and psychiatrists find this very a handbook in Bhagavad Gita, because it teaches us how to manage our emotions. And also, when we are able to manage our emotions, then we will be having a calmer existence. You'll be able to do things properly, see things in the right way. experience things in the right way, proper way. So you can say Gita answers questions about how to live our lives effectively in this world, the world which is continuously changing and full of challenges. It gives meaning to life. It helps us teaches how to manage our emotions. And these ideas are not confined to any particular age or place. These are universal. It is relevant for any people all over the world at all times, because these emotions like anger, desire, excessive desire, you always have. Not that it is the time, it's a modern problem. No. Ancient time also they had the same problem, because human mind works in the same way all the time. So those problems are there. The same problems are now also. Slight changes will be there, that's all. But the basic problems are still there. And Gita gives answers to that, to how to face these problems. And so it is relevant to anyone who feels the mind is a battlefield, irrespective of religion, race, language, culture. No, that's not a barrier. It's irrelevant. It's relevant to everybody in every field of life. And Shri Krishna is the guide there, ready to help us. Only that we have to seek the help. If you don't seek help, we won't be getting the help. That's all. And here in the Gita, we can see in the first chapter, Arjuna is giving all the arguments why he should not fight. And Krishna keeps quiet. Not a single word he's saying. Only in the second chapter he starts. Because Arjuna says, I'm really confused. I am your disciple. Please help me. Please guide me. Till that comes, nobody's going to help. We should feel that we are stuck. We need help. See, I've read somewhere that in Alcohol Anonymous, unless the person with the drinking problem recognizes that I have got a drinking problem, I need help, they won't help. They won't come to help you. Even if they know that you've got a problem, they won't help you. They won't come forward. You have to realize that you've got a problem and you need help. You go, they are ready to help. Same with Krishna here. Any guide, unless you realize that you need help, and there is no point in helping other person, because unsought advice will have no value. The person won't, because the person doesn't realize that the help is needed, guidance is needed. So you are simply wasting your time and energy. But if anytime we need help, we realize that we need help and seek, Krishna is there to guide us. Thank you.
Just a reminder tonight, Gayatriprana via Microsoft Teams will be giving a Gita class from 8 to 9 p.m, the monthly class. And this coming week, we've got the yoga class on Thursday. We have the spiritual evening discussion on Friday night. Next Sunday, we'll have a Vedanta book club meeting for the Sunday talk. And just looking ahead, we've got a few special things happening. We've got a meditation day on Sunday, the 22nd of June. We do want to have at least 15 people, at least 15 names down on the list to attend, with the aim that at least we've got 10 people participating. So we'll appreciate if you're planning to come to let us know, so they can confirm we're going ahead with that on Sunday, the 22nd. As usual, it's a guided meditation, overview of meditation, a talk, there'll be discussion, there'll be walking meditation, and lunch and morning and afternoon tea will be provided. Full day program. Hiroko will be leading some yoga and relaxation exercises. So it's quite a varied and good, very good program. Also, special event on Sunday the 29th. Sri Gayatriprana is going to give the first in a series of talks on the 4 yogas. And in particular, she'll start with speaking on Raja Yoga. So, and then there'll be talks going right through to November and gradually going through all the 4 yogas. And, oh, well, a quick mention, we've got a teen retreat at Dharma on the first weekend in July. Well, that is from late Saturday afternoon to Sunday afternoon. So we'll keep reminding you about that. Adults can come as well. We will have some separate sessions for adults, but of course it's mainly for the teen retreat. So now we'll conclude with a guided meditation.